up? It's Jan back at it again with another nerdy bookish video. This is gonna be my next 3 book club picks. So hello, if you're new here, I host a book club called the Full Moon Book Club. We have our live shows every full moon of the month, unless announced otherwise. All the announcements for these live shows and book picks and everything are always on my Instagram. It's just my personal Instagram, always linked down below. It's just at @janagaton. I don't have a separate one for my book club. I do have a guest host every month, and I announce the books and the guests in chunks of 3. So that's what we're doing today. Again, if you're new here, I do try to pick at least one backlist and one BIPOC author, and then one is usually a new release, and then I just like mix and match those as I please. So yeah, it's almost, wait, what's the month today? What's the month? It's April. These are gonna be for May, June, and July. May marks 2 years, I think. 2 years of this book club. That is outrageous to me. Like, I cannot even fathom. If you asked me 2 years ago that this would still be alive in 2023, I would have been like, nah, no way. You know, we have the moody lighting, we have my new hair, we have the 3 picks and my 3 guests. I don't have the synopses memorized or anything, so I will be reading straight from the book because I do have all 3 physically. Wait, hold on. These are not the right books! I lied! Wait, did I say May, June, July? July, and then August. Yeah, okay. Sorry, just had a brain fart. Okay, it's gonna be May, June, July because April is this. This is April's book club pick. Today is April 1st as I'm filming this. And this is this month's book club pick in case you missed the last announcement. But the live show is in May, which marks 2 years of this book club. And this is the same author as my very first book club pick 2 years ago. Right? That all makes sense, right? That all adds up. The math is mathing. The London Seance Society, I have the full synopsis and everything in the previous announcement video for my next 3 book club picks. Sorry I'm all over the place. I just got home and I just needed to film this video. But my guest for this month is gonna be Sid from Sid Bookworm, and the live show is gonna be, I believe, like May 5th or something like that, probably in the evening if it's a weekday. That is this month's pick, and then it will be May, June, July. Okay, we got it settled. Everything is copacetic, y'all. For the May pick, we have Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas. This is a dark academia book that I have yet to read, and I do consider myself a lover of all things dark academia vibes, so it's a shame that I haven't read this yet. But basically, from what I know, there's this girl who goes to this place called Catherine House, kind of like a boarding school, but it's like really weird, and you can't have your phone, you can't have like outside contact of any sort, you can't talk about it outside of Catherine House, and then like weird shit starts happening. A seductive gothic infused debut of literary suspense set within a secluded elite university and following a dangerously curious, rebellious undergraduate who uncovers a shocking secret about an exclusive circle of students and the dark truth behind her school's promise of prestige. That's like the little blurb, that's not the full synopsis. I'll go into it in a sec, but gothic infused vibes, dark academia, sounds like kind of culty. I'm here for it. Catherine House is a school of higher learning like no other. Hidden deep in the woods of rural Pennsylvania, this crucible of reformist liberal arts study has produced some of the world's best minds. For those lucky few selected, tuition, room, and board are free, but acceptance comes with a price. Students are required to give Catherine 3 years, summers included, completely removed from the outside world. Family, friends, television, music, even their personal clothing must be left behind. In return, the school promises its graduates a future of sublime power and that they can become anything or anyone they desire. Among this year's incoming class is Inez, who expects to trade her blurry teenage nights of parties, pills, cruel friends, and dangerous men for rigorous intellectual discipline, only to discover an environment of sanctioned revelry. Even the school's enigmatic director, Victoria, encourages the students to explore their minds and bodies, to find themselves and their place behind the formidable iron gates of Catherine. For Inez, the house is the closest thing to a home she's ever had, but its strange protocols soon make this refuge, with its worn velvet and weathered leather, feel increasingly like a lavish prison. And when tragedy strikes, Inez begins to suspect that the school, in all its shabby splendor, hallowed history, advanced theories, and controlled decadence, might be hiding a dangerous agenda within the secretive, tightly knit group of students studying its most promising and mysterious curriculum. Combining the haunting sophistication and dusky, atmospheric style of Sarah Waters with the unsettling isolation of Kazuo Ishiguro's Never Let Me Go, Catherine House is a devious, deliciously steamy, suspenseful page-turner with shocking twists and sharp edges that are sure to leave readers readers breathless. I mean, just from the synopsis alone, I think it's gonna have really good writing. I've heard it gets really weird. I've heard there's a lot of talk about like the walls being skin, things like that. I don't know. I'm excited to finally get to this because I've had it on my shelves for well over a year now. And my guest host for May will be Bree from Bree Cherie Reads. Subscribe to her if you haven't already. Subscribe to all my guests if you haven't already. I'll have all of my guest channels linked down below. So for this one, the live show will be in June. Again, all our live shows are on the full moon of every month. So if you forget, miss an announcement, whatever, you can just Google the full moon. Usually we stick to the date. I've only had to reschedule like a couple times in the past 2 years. So most likely it'll be early June. All right, for the June pick, we have Wayward by Amelia Hart. This is available on Book of the Month, so it could be easily accessible for those of you who have that subscription and for a cheap price, you know, $10.99 or whatever it is at this point. And this is like a witchy feminist magical realism type of thing. I feel like it's along the lines of The Change by Kristen Miller, which I haven't read yet, and like A Woman Could Fly by Megan Giddings, which I also haven't read yet, but I'm thinking of like doing a vlog with those kinds of books. But yeah, this just looks like it's gonna have good writing, right? It says, I'm a wayward and wild inside. 2019, under cover of darkness, Kate flees London for a ramshackle wayward cottage inherited from a great aunt she barely remembers. With its tumbling ivy and overgrown garden, the cottage is worlds away from the abusive partner who tormented Kate. But she soon suspects that her great aunt had a secret, one that lurks in the bones of the cottage, hidden ever since the witch hunts of the 17th century. 1619, Alta, I don't know, is awaiting trial for the murder of a local farmer who was stampeded to death by his herd. Her mother taught her their magic, a kind not rooted in spell casting but in a deep knowledge of the natural world. But unusual women have always been deemed dangerous, and as the evidence of witchcraft is laid out against I like Alta. I think it's Alta. She knows it will take all her powers to maintain her freedom. And then 1942, as World War II rages, Violet is trapped in her family's grand, crumbling estate. Straitjacketed by societal convention, she longs for the robust education her brother receives, and for her mother, long deceased, who was rumored to have gone mad before her death. The only traces Violet has of her are a locket bearing the initial W and the word wayward scratched into the baseboard of her bedroom. Weaving together the stories of 3 extraordinary women across 5 centuries, Wayward is an astonishing debut and an enthralling novel of female resilience. So yes, sounds amazing. Guest host for June is Steph from Stephanie Bookish. So excited to chat with her. She's a librarian. She's gonna give all her librarian knowledge when we analyze this text. I'm so excited. This just came out, I think, in March. I wanted to read it as soon as I got it in the mail, but I was like, you must wait. So yeah, the live show for this one will be early July at some point. And then we get to July, which is The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew. This is like a YA horror, fantasy, paranormal, urban something. Okay, I don't know. It's like a bunch of different genres, but all I knew about this one is that it's kind of creepy, eerie, atmospheric type of writing, but also with death rep. And so I thought it was interesting. And I'll just read the synopsis, shall we? Delaney always talked to the dark. She never expected it to talk back. Delaney is tired of being seen as fragile just because she's deaf. So when she's accepted into a prestigious program that trains students to slip between parallel worlds, she's excited for the chance to prove herself, but her semester gets off to a rocky start as she faces professors who won't accommodate her disability and a pretentious upperclassman fascinated by Delaney's unusual talents. Colton died when he was 9 years old. He woke several weeks later at the feet of a green-eyed little girl. Now, 12 years later, Delaney has stumbled back into his orbit, but Colton's been ordered to keep far away from the new girl, and the voices she hears calling to her from the shadows. Delaney wants to keep her distance from Colton. She seems to be the only person on campus who finds him more arrogant than charming. Yet after a student turns up dead, she and Colton are forced to form a tenuous alliance. But Delaney and Colton discover the cost of opening the doors between worlds when they find themselves up against something old and nameless, an enemy they need to destroy before it tears them and their forbidden partnership apart. That sounds riveting. This just seems like it's gonna be a creepy fun time. If you're looking for a book with disability rep, here you go. And my guest host for July will be Kasey from Kasey Can Read. I'm so happy that she's finally gonna be a guest. I met her twice. I met up with her. I met her I met her last year and I hung out with her again. I hung out with her twice last year is all I'm fucking saying. Oh my lord. She's a super fun time. Again, subscribe to her if you haven't already. I think she's on hiatus right now, but her content that is up on YouTube is fantastic. So that's that. The live show will be definitely August 1st because in August is going to be the full moon readathon. I'll have a separate announcement video for that with all the prompts and everything because last year I did the prompts for all that on top of this announcement and it was just a whole mess because people got confused, and so did I. We're gonna avoid that this year, but that announcement will be coming soon. But there are 2 full moons in August, so we're gonna use the first full moon on August 1st as our book club live show, and then the second full moon and the readathon will be that week as well. And then the second full moon is gonna be August's book club pick. And then it'll reset to being, the live shows being on the months that the book clubs are picked. Does that make any sense? Probably not. Let me break it down. So nowadays, right, for the past like year, it's been this month's book club pick. The live show will be next month. But August, since it has 2 full moons, we're gonna switch it back to how it was in the beginning of this book club back in May 2021, where the May book club picks live show is in May. Okay? Okay. Whatever. You'll see when it comes around. That is all. Let me know which ones you're excited to read from these picks. Thank you again so much for keeping this book club alive. If you made it to the end of this video, let's put a candlestick emoji in the comments down below if you made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching. Hope y'all had a great day. Stay safe, stay positive, and stay spooky always. And I'll see you on my next video. Bye.